It's electric, it's energizing, it's empowering, it's informative, it's equipping. It's new birth. It can't be explained, it can only be experienced. You've got to come into our sanctuary right now and have a once in a lifetime encounter with God. I promise you, you'll never be the same. We are committed to love, live, and lead like Christ. And we hope that it's so infectious that no matter where it is that you're watching, you'll catch on fire and set the world around you aflame. I'm excited. I'm Pastor Jamal Harrison Bryant, and welcome to the New Birth Experience.
Luke 21, verses 1 through 4. As Jesus looked up, he saw the rich putting their gifts into the temple treasury. He also saw a poor widow put in 2 very small copper coins. Truly, I tell you, he said, this poor widow has put in more than all the others. All these people gave their gifts out of their wealth, but she, out of poverty, put in all she had to live on. Truly, I tell you, he said, this poor widow has put in more than all the others. All these people gave their gifts out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in all she had to live on. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. I want to preach for a little while today using as a subject, mind your business. Look at the person beside you, tell them you heard the preacher. Mind your business. Long before Cash App became currency, the group The Tavers recorded a song that was echoed on every jukebox in black neighborhoods, echoing the refrain, a penny for your thoughts, a nickel for your kiss, a dime if you tell me that you love me. In this economy, that bartering system wouldn't take the suitor too far. As worthless as a penny might appear today, it far exceeds the value of the first ones that were minted. You see, the first ones that were minted were known as Fugio coins, F-U-G-I-O. Fugio coins, or the Fugio cent, that was designed by founding father Benjamin Franklin. It garnered that name because of the image of the sun and its rays shining down on the sundial caption. Fugio translates in the Latin to mean time flying by. Fugio means time flying by. Ironic, given that Ben coined the expression that time flies, you're having fun. Time is money, meaning that those who waste time are often guilty of wasting money. At the bottom of the original coin was engraved the words, mind your business. First coins that America minted, at the bottom was engraved, mind your business. It wasn't throwing shade, as today's vernacular would imply, to mind your business, but historians suggest that the term was to be taken literal, as the curator, Ben Franklin, was a successful businessman. So at the bottom of America's currency, it was written, mind your business, that you would pay attention to the business in which you have charge over. That stayed in circulation until 1956. In 1956, President Dwight Eisenhower passed a law that they would take off mind your business and put at the bottom of our currency, in God we trust. So from 1776 all the way to 1956, the mantra for this nation was mind your business. And it wasn't out until 1956 that we shifted from mind your business to in God we trust. It took a long time to shift the mindset from business to trusting God. My dear friends, if you're going to excel in this climate, you have to be able to put the two entities together. That I trust God, here it is, to mind my business. I am giving God authority over all of my business affairs. I want every entrepreneur to lift up that hand. Every person who's in business for themselves, that hand is lifted. Why? Because in this hour, I am giving God complete authority over my business. God, you gave me the idea, you gave me the concept, you gave me the name. Now I'm giving it back to you. This business cannot fail because you can't fail. So I'm giving it to you because I believe that resurrection is getting ready to happen for my business, and the last 2 quarters of the year are going to far exceed everything I did at the beginning of the year. God, I give you authority over my business in my personal life, and I give you authority over the business of my financial future, and I give you authority over the business I have not yet created. God, get in my business. In 1986, former chairman of Chrysler Motors was the chair of the project to restore the Statue of Liberty. He received generous donations from very influential people, but the gift that impacted him the most came from 78 homeless Vietnamese refugees living in a concentration camp in Thailand. Those 78 homeless Vietnamese refugees sent to Lee Iacocca $114.19. They had lost everything except for their hope. They were willing to give their last just because they wanted to invest in liberty. You don't even understand that God is getting ready to so get in your business that you are going to be free from every false obligation. God says, he that the Son sets free is going to be free indeed. I'm preaching while I'm prophesying. He says, I am freeing you from your mortgage. I'm freeing you from hospital bills. I'm freeing you from student loans. For 50 y'all that don't mind shouting, I'm freeing you from car notes. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. I am freeing you from lapsed IRS payments. I am freeing you from the lien off of your house. I am freeing you from people always having their hand out. I am freeing you from false obligation. I'm freeing you from working where you are not welcomed, valued, or appreciated. I am freeing you from being under demonic supervisors. I am freeing you from a place of work that causes you migraine, stress, high blood pressure, loss of sleep, absent of hair. God said, I am freeing you, and today I start the liberty process. When I read about that ragtag group of donors, it reminded me of this woman that I heard about in Luke 21. She is considered by theologians as the gold medal giver of the Gospels. She's a gold medal giver of the Gospels, even though she only put in the offering plate 2 small copper coins. Those 2 small copper coins tabulates to 1/4 of a day's wages in that era. They weren't called pennies. They weren't called dimes. They weren't called nickels. Hear this, they were called mites. And this widow woman came around for the offering and put in her last mite. You know mite as the word to mean strength, energy, support, power. And she comes to church as a widow, and she don't have much strength left. Her husband has died. Here she is trying to make it, and her grown children are nowhere to be found. She's clearly operating on a fixed, limited income, but presses her way to worship with the strength that she got left. There's some people who's sitting around you today who don't even understand how little might you got left. They are driving emotionally on E. They ain't got time to fight. They ain't got time to argue. They ain't got time to explain themselves. They are tired of defending themselves. They're tired of being misunderstood. Tired of always assuming the worst. Tired of being the bigger person. Tired of always being the moderator. Tired of being the traffic guard. Tired of being taken for granted. Tired of being taken lightly. Tired of being misunderstood. But in spite of all of that, she still finds the strength to get to church. And there's some of y'all, you better be honest in here. When you woke up, you didn't really feel like coming, but you had to talk yourself into it and say, I guess I'll go up there today. I don't know what God is going to do, but I'm so glad that Isaiah said he gives power to the faint, and to those who have no might, he increases their strength. I need you, for whoever's standing near you, I need you to shake that neighbor's hand and tell them you're stronger than you think you are. That's the wrong neighbor. They don't understand how strong you are. I need you to shake somebody else's hand, and I need you to shake it good and tell them you're stronger than you think you are. You ain't no weakling. You ain't no pushover. You ain't no punk. With everything that you've been through, if you are a coward, you would have committed suicide. You would have jumped out the window. You would have waved the white flag. But you're still standing, saying the grace of God. Thankful. I'm thankful for the strength I got. Hallelujah. Y'all didn't hear what I said. I said I'm thankful for the strength I got. Folk got no idea what I'm dealing with, but I get out the bed every day. They got no idea how many nights I cry, but I pull myself together. I'm stronger. There was a guy, I apologize. There's a guy, I couldn't find him nowhere in Luke. Couldn't find him in Matthew, couldn't find him in Isaiah. But I bumped into this guy who said, Jamal, tell him my testimony about how strong you are when you don't even know how strong you are. Couldn't find him in Acts, couldn't find him in Philippians. I found him, y'all ain't gonna believe it. I found him on Saturday morning. Found him on Saturday morning. His name was Popeye. He's got an amazing testimony. I got to tell you about this guy named Popeye. I know you ain't never heard of him. He ain't nowhere in the Bible. I don't even know if he ever met Jesus. I got to tell you about Popeye. Popeye is a sailor man. God help me in here. He's a sailor man, and what's amazing about Popeye is he's always getting beat up by a man by the name of Bluto. But can I tell you why Bluto wants to fight Popeye? Y'all ain't gonna believe it. He only wants to fight Popeye because he got olive oil. I ain't got no church people in here. You don't even know why the enemy is fighting you so bad, because you got the olive oil. If the oil wasn't on your life, the enemy. What's amazing is he keeps getting beat up because Bluto wants his olive oil. And our grandmothers taught us we had to eat our spinach in order for us to be strong like Popeye. But you know that they lied to us for years. Here's the evidence I know that they lied, is that while Popeye's getting beat up and strangled, he would get a can of spinach in his hand. He's supposed to not have any strength. But don't y'all know Popeye opened the can with his bare hands, and you never figured out how did he find the strength to open that can while he was getting beat up. That's because before he got beat up, he touched the oil. And every now and again, you gotta give God glory for the strength that you got when you should have been defeated. Jesus is in church one day. He's in church one day. The church is packed out. And the way that the tabernacle is set up, there were 13 boxes. Brass trumpets shaped around the offering baskets. Narrow at the top, wide at the bottom. They had no paper currency in Jesus' time, so all of the money was in coins. So when people were making big donations and offerings, watch this, because the tin was made out of copper, it would make a sound. Hallelujah. Therefore, we get the understanding, the sacrifice of praise. When it is that you're making a sacrifice before God, it shouldn't be quiet. But when you're making a sacrifice in the presence of God, it ought to make some noise. That's why I don't beg people to praise God. Because if you ain't been through nothing, you ain't gonna say nothing. But if you able to say, through it all, I learned to trust in Jesus. Through it all. Everybody's walking around. They're giving their offering. And their offerings are making a lot of noise. But here comes this widow woman with these 2 little coins. And hers don't make a lot of noise. Sometimes people underestimate you because you don't say a lot. Y'all ain't saying I'm getting ready to upset some self-righteous folk. Just because you don't see me screaming don't mean I ain't got a relationship. I can't hear nobody. Just because I ain't dancing don't mean I don't feel them on the inside. Sometimes God deals with me in a quiet way, and I ain't got to praise him the way you praise him, but God will see my sacrifice. Due to his omniscience, Jesus not only knew that she gave and how much she gave, but Jesus recognized it was all that she had. Can you imagine? The look of astonishment and amazement. You sitting beside somebody in church this morning who you don't know, never met, and you ask them, what you giving today? They'd be offended. You notice how secretive people become in church during the offering. Fill out their envelope, then turn it over. Because they don't want you to know what it is that they're giving. Proverbs 15:3 records, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, watching the evil and the good. I want to say this to somebody, I hope you'll receive it. His eye is now watching my bank account. His eye is on my credit score. His eye is on my income to debt ratio. His eye is on my bills. I cancel every person who has tried to fraudulently break into your account. Your name will not be compromised. While you are giving God glory, your interest is about to raise up. Equity is going back into your house. A contract is being prepared with your name on it. God's got his eye. The wealthy people who went ahead of her had the wrong intention. They were giving in church for recognition and lofty perception. But this poor woman was doing it as an act of worship and devotion. I'm going to pause right here. I know that this obstructs where it is that we are, but I just want to pause in the event that there's a remnant in the room that knows that I owe God some worship. I got to give him my voice, got to give him my hands, I got to give him my feet. If it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, I owe him. Come on, y'all got to worship better than that. You got to praise him better than that. You got to give him glory better than that. The worshipers are doing it because they got a heart for God, not because they want to be seen, not for the camera, not for the applause. I'm doing it for God. I was amazed on yesterday. Heart was overwhelmed. Seeing 5,000 young people walk in this room to know that the body of Christ was making God's name great in the earth. Thought we had done something. Poking my chest out, patting myself on the back, feeling like we had done something because of shoes. I'm getting ready to walk out. Her mother pulls me by my coattail and said, Pastor Bryant, thank you for what you did. I dare not ask you for anything else. All I want you to do is pray for me. I said, yeah, I can pray for you. She said, no, I need you to do it now. And don't send me to nobody. I said, Lord, I'll pray for you. I said, now tell me what you want me to pray for. She said, Pastor, you don't even know. There was a line outside this church, but I beat all of them. I said, you beat all of them? She said, yes. I said, me and my 3 kids for the last week been sleeping in our car. And I slept in your parking lot last night. I didn't know how God was going to make a way. But I just believed if I could just get to the house of God, that God was going to make something happen for me. And you want me to beg you bougie Negroes to give God glory when your children woke up in their own bed, ate at the table, didn't have to worry about what they were going to eat? You ought to be giving God glory for making a way out of no way. You got to learn how to trust God. Hear this. You got to learn how to trust God and demonstrate your trust for God, hear me, when you are poor. You got to trust him when you don't have it. Hallelujah. It's easy to give God glory when you don't need nothing. God, I can't hear nobody, but I'm telling you, when stuff gets real tight and you can't breathe and can't focus and can't see straight, but you trust him. Comes a time where you got to stop fronting, stop flossing, stop perpetrating the fraud, and say, God, I trust you, even when I don't know where the money is coming from. I trust you, because I got some stuff that I can't even deal with. I trust you, because there's some bills I won't even open up. I trust you. God said, let me see your sacrifice. Lost her husband, can't find their children, but still comes to church. Because she said, I don't know when God is going to do it, but I trust him to do it. And there are those of you who are in this room that got your back up against the wall, but you dragged yourself to church anyway. And say, God, I don't know when you're going to do it, but I believe you got a miracle with my name on it. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I believe that before this week is over, you're going to reveal yourself to me. Do me a favor. If you don't need nothing, don't say nothing. But if you need the power of God to work on your behalf, I dare you to give him glory. Be seated, please. Most of us are blessed that we're not as destitute as this woman. She came to church. All she had was 2 mites left. She said, I'm going to come to church with no husband, no insurance policy, neglectful children. And I'm coming to put God to the test to see whether he's going to really make a way for me. She was saying long before the Constitutional Congress, in God I trust. You don't even understand that the intention of Dwight Eisenhower to put in God we trust at the bottom of the currency is that every time you exchange money, y'all ain't gonna believe it, your money was saying a prayer. I am praying that everything I need goes through. I don't know who this is for, but this shout right here is just for those of us that are delinquent on some stuff and you need God's assistance to catch you up with where you're supposed to be. In God I trust. She's saying he will supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory. I trust him to do it. Isn't it crazy how it is that we act? We trust the cable company that when we pay the bill, we expect HBO to be on. Isn't it amazing that when you go to the gas station and pay, you expect that there's going to be gas in your car and not water? I want to know how you trust Exxon, how you trust Netflix, how you trust DirecTV, and you don't believe that when I give to God, everything he told me I was going to see is going to come to pass. I can tell some of y'all don't have a vision, you don't have any dreams, you don't have any goals, but those of y'all that believe if God said it, I expect it to come to pass. Jesus throws everybody off when he announced, truly I say unto you, this poor woman put in more than all these rich people. That means the Lord was deep in her business. to know that they gave out a surplus and she gave out of her substance. Compared to what others gave, those 2 mites, what she gave, it didn't pay the mortgage of that church. What she gave, it didn't meet the payroll. What she gave didn't help with the utilities. But when she gave the little she had, it put a mandate for God to pay attention. I want somebody in this room to know that God says, I'm looking at what it is that you're going through. And I ain't gonna let you struggle in August the way you struggled in July. I'm getting ready to shift. Said after you gave, I'm stopping the line. I'm stopping the line because I'm turning the line around. That the last is getting ready to be first. I want to make an announcement for somebody who will shout about it. Before Labor Day gets here, your position will change. I can't hear nobody. I said before the summer is over, your standing is going to change. Little girl had an ailing father, sick, dying of cancer. Went with her mother to Walmart. And while they were walking through Walmart, she saw this baby doll she wanted. Said to her mama, I want that doll. And the mother said to her, baby, you know we can't afford it right now. Daddy is sick. We only managing on one income. I want you to have it, but I can't afford to give it to you right now. The amazing hand of God healed that little girl's father. Healed the little girl's father, was restored back to complete health, went back and claimed his job, and at her next birthday, she got that baby doll that she wanted. She loved that baby doll, carried it around everywhere. And the Sunday after her birthday, her mother dragged her to church. And the preacher said to everybody in the church, you got to give God what you love the most. Little girl started crying. Next Sunday she came to church, had a baby doll tucked under her arms. And when they marched around for the offering, she dropped her doll in the basket. Deacons on the front row started laughing. People in the choir loft started pointing at her. Mother and father tried to drag her along. Said, why did you do that? She said, because I love this doll the most. And so I wanted to give God what I love the most. Friends, New Birth, I want you to know that Tuesday, the pastor came by the house, had the doll tucked under his suit, and said, I saw you in church Sunday. I appreciate your sacrifice, but I came to give you your doll back. The pastor jumped back, waiting for the girl to be elated, waiting for her to scream, to be overwhelmed with joy, to run up and hug him. But the little girl just sat there and looked at him with tears coming down her eyes and said, I can't take it. And the pastor said, no, I'm the pastor. It's okay, I done cleared it with the deacons. We're going to give the doll back to you. You have modeled for us what sacrificial giving looks like. The little girl is now hyperventilating. 7 years old, don't know no better. She said, I still can't take it. The pastor, bewildered, said, why can't you take it? Little girl gathered herself, wiped the tears from her eyes, and said, because I wasn't giving it to you. was giving it to the Father. When you get into God's house, you ain't doing it for Jamal, Bryant. You ain't doing it for no nosy neighbor. I'm giving it to God. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. I want you to lift up that hand. Your next blessing is not going to come from the hands of people. I can't hear nobody. When you get blessed, you ain't going to owe nobody but God. God gave me this. I speak over every lifted hand. That God will bless you with the strength you got left. You ain't in competition with nobody. But God's getting ready to bless all of your business. Your family business. Your health business. Your financial business. Your occupation, your field. God is getting ready to bless your business. Everything that is concerning to you, God is getting ready to anoint. And those of you by faith, even in the dark, the difficult, and the dismal times, you're going to find the strength to trust God. If that's where you are, would you let him know through a sound of worship? Come on. I can't hear anybody. I said trust him even through your worship. I want you to stand to your feet where you are. Church folk won't be honest with you. It's hard to trust God sometimes, especially when you can't trace him. Hard to trust him when he ain't even confirming nothing, ain't saying nothing. Hard to trust him when you're trying to do right and people do dirty by you. But you got to trust him in spite of what it looks like. Wherever you are in this room, I'm going to tell you transparently, I ain't got nothing up my sleeve. I want to tell you something. I got to be honest with you. You got no idea how bad I want to be your pastor. Got no idea how much I prayed that you would make New Birth your church. You got no idea how happy it's going to make me that you'll give Jesus your life today. If you're in this room and you ain't got much strength left, but with the little strength that remains, you're saying, you know what, Pastor, I'm going to trust him. If he did it for that widow woman that didn't have no backup resources, but said, I'm going to put it all in his hands. I'm going to step back and see what he does for me. You're in this room. You've been looking for a church whose actions speak louder than their words. I want you to come meet me at this altar. Our deacons, our elders, our leaders are waiting to embrace you. With the little strength you got, I need you to come. Come on, you can do better than that. Give God glory. Here they come. Come with the strength you got. New Birth, I need you to give God glory. They almost didn't make it this morning, but they pressed their way anyway. Come on. I want you to come. I want you to be able to walk out here and say to your neighbor, to your coworker, to your family, to your friends. I connected to a church that put 5,000 pairs of shoes on children in Atlanta. I can't hear nobody. I became a part of a church that believes in community development. I am a part of a church that wants to see my business prosper, wants to see my family flourish, wants to invest in my children succeeding. That's the kind of church I go to. I need y'all to help me. Sir, ma'am, help me. Would you talk to whoever's on your row? Ask them for me. Ask them, are they saved? Ask them, do they have a church home? Ask them, have they given their lives over to God? Come on, trust me. Come on and trust me. I need you to celebrate this whole family coming.
Trust me. Oh, trust me. Oh, trust me. Trust me. If you would only, if you would only.
Stay right here with me. Hold on, musicians. Thank you. New Birth, I want you to help me give God glory. Don't do it yet. This woman who's here at the altar, whose hand I'm holding, said, Pastor, you don't even understand. I drove 500 miles to get here. That she been watching online, but said she wanted to come and walk the altar herself to get connected to what God is doing in this ministry. I need somebody to shout for what God is getting ready to do. She came 500 miles and you complaining coming from Alpharetta. I need you to come meet me at this altar. There's 10 more of you who need to come. That was the confirmation you needed. You don't live too far. Come on. If it's good, it's worth the gas. New Birth, you know how we roll. I'm waiting on 5 more to come. The quicker they come, the faster we can get out of here. I need y'all to do a spin 360. Would you talk to the person in front of you, behind you, to your left, to your right? Come on, give God glory for this beautiful brother coming. I need you to shout for this sister coming down the aisle. I need you to do me a favor, please. Come on, would you give God glory for these young people coming? Come on, they still coming. Give God glory. I remember my father years ago used to say, if a child is old enough to pick out their clothes, they're old enough to pick out Christ. Did y'all hear what I just said? If they're old enough to pick out their clothes, they're old enough to select Christ. I want you to help me on the eve before school starts. I want our young people saved. I want them committed to Jesus Christ. Would you talk to the young people beside you? Ask them, do they know Jesus for the pardoning of their sins? Have they given their life over to God? Come on, wherever you are, talk to those young people. If there's one here, I need you to come. Hallelujah. Come on, trust me.
Trust me.
Come on and trust me.
Trust me.
I hear some noise. Come on, make some noise. Here comes the family.
If you would only trust me, yeah. Trust me.
Come on and trust me.
Trust me.
Come on and trust me. Those of you who are watching online, you want to become a part of what it is that God is doing. I want you to become a cyber member. I don't care where you're watching, whether you're in Maryland, Mississippi, Michigan, Montana. I want you to please become a part of what it is that God is doing. Same power that's in this house is coming to your house right now. New Birth, give God glory for our virtual worshipers. Stretch your right hand to faith. Repeat after me. You're in the right place at the right time, joining the right church, serving only God. And I know that's right. Show you're right. If you know I'm right, come on, give God some praise for it right there. All of you who are at the altar, all of you who are at the altar, if you'll follow us this way, I just want to get some information to you. New Birth, make some noise. They came as friends. They leaving as family. Come on, give God some glory for it.
Trust me.
You may be seated. Trust me. Listen, the widow woman, when it was time for the offering, she didn't sneak out. She didn't put up one finger. She said, I don't have much, but I'm going to give God my absolute best. It's a time for all of us to demonstrate our devotion unto our God. Our ushers are moving amongst you. If you're absent of an envelope, I need you to lift up that hand. You don't have an envelope. If you don't have an envelope, I want you to lift up that hand. I don't want you to be robbed of the privilege to give. I want you to give out of whatever strength you have. The woman defied the notion you can't give while you're broke. I got to trust him for the increase, even when I don't know how he's going to make a way. The peculiarity about God is God never comes in the way that you expect. He comes in a whole nother direction. How many of you know sometimes God won't even bless you with money? He'll bless you with a relationship that will give for you what you didn't even see coming. How many of you all are a witness? He'll open doors for you you didn't even know existed. Give you opportunities that you would have never been able to apply for. I want us to demonstrate on the last Sunday of this month, the entire church, all of New Birth, is going to be tithing together. If you've never tithed, I'm telling you that's going to be your day, that you're going to put God to the test. It is only in the area of our giving that God gives us permission to test him. He said, try me and see what I won't do. That woman didn't have anything after that, but she said, I'm going to trust God, and God made a way. And I'm believing for you that there's some living witnesses around you that God is going to make a way for you. After hearing that woman's testimony, many of you ought to be giving, believing that God is going to exceed your expectation. The legal minds amongst us would let you know about the law of first mention. The law of first mention suggests whatever happens first sets the precedent for whatever happens next. My dear friends, on this being the first Sunday in August, you are setting the stage for the entire month that God is getting ready to take you from glory to glory. I'm believing, watch this, that after you release this gift, God is going to add strength to your life, strength to your business, strength to your endeavors, and strength to your possibilities.
Our back to school shoe giveaway started Friday night with prayer and preparation.
Everywhere the soles of their feet tread, that they will get the victory, not only from wearing a pair of shoes, but in life, that they will become better because of the prayers over the shoes.
Saturday morning, the line was wrapped around New Birth. Doors opened at 9 a.m., but our guests were here as early as 4 a.m.
I've been here since 4, coming from the south side.
Because I think this is a great thing that Pastor Jamal Bryant decided to do for the community. It's a great job. Great job, JB.
Shout out to New Birth. Appreciate what y'all doing with the shoe, whatever. Shout out to all the ref that donate. Shout out to the cameraman for filming the thing, doing the big thing out here.
I'm honestly grateful for this event. It's crazy to see how God's people just come united and are willing to come and help the community and help those in need. And I'm just grateful to God and to the church and to Pastor Jamal Bryant.
An empty sanctuary was soon filled with thousands of parents and their children for a blessing they'll never forget. Dr. Jamal Bryant, pastor of New Birth, was excited about the enormity of the day.
You are 9.5. What size is this? Yeah, you done grown. 9.5. You got it.
This is absolutely amazing. It's a landmark day for Atlanta Metro.
Hey, great.
4,000 young people are going to be blessed with brand new back-to-school shoes. Let me tell you the miracle. We only asked for 2,000, and now we're close to 5,000. God will always do exceedingly abundantly beyond what you can think, dream, or even imagine. I'm excited. Today, God gets all the glory.
We're thankful to the hundreds of volunteers who work tirelessly throughout the day to service each guest. Not only were shoes given away, but dental services were provided, along with backpacks and socks, and a lunch to go.
I'm going to dance with my new shoes on.
On behalf of Dr. Bryant and the entire New Birth family, we want to say thank you to everyone who donated to this great cause. Many blessings to our children as they start the new school year.